And Ginger, let me know when we're live and ready to go.
Almost there. All right, we're all set.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, all. I'm Joan Hartley, the Senate co-chair of the Commerce Committee, and we meet today to convene and to launch our Industry 4.0 working group in accordance with Special Act 2124. That is an act establishing a manufacturing technology working group. As specified in the legislation, the purpose of the act is to develop a strategic plan for Connecticut manufacturers, providing them the ability to have support and access in the adoption and the integration of Industry 4.0 into their manufacturing development and processes. First order of business is to thank all of you today for being with us and committing to working going forward on this initiative. I also want to defer to my colleagues, the leadership on the Commerce Committee, and with us today is, I'm looking at my screen here, Representative Martin, excuse me, Senator Martin, Representative Buckby, and we may be waiting also on Representative Simmons. Is Rep Simmons with us? If not, I'd like to kick it over to Senator Martin for some brief comments.
Good morning. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Morning.
Very, very quickly from my end here. Thank you all for volunteering, for participating in this committee. A lot of work ahead of you. I know that what's going to come out is going to be very beneficial to those manufacturers that are perhaps startups, as well as the current small and medium-sized manufacturers. Just collecting and compiling all the resources that are currently out there, the services that are out there regarding Industry 4.0. I think you all know, and you wouldn't be here without really acknowledging that that is our future in manufacturing. So thank you for this undertaking and for your time. It is appreciated from the chairs, ourselves, and the leadership. The entire legislature is thankful for what you guys are going to be doing here. So thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Senator Martin. And Representative Buckby, thanks for being with us again.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Good morning, everyone else here as well. It's really tough when you have to follow someone like Senator Martin, where he says everything you were going to say and says it more eloquently than you would put it out yourself. So I look forward to listening and learning a bit more. And thank you all for taking the time this morning. And that's about all I have. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Rep. Buckby. And if my House co-chair has not joined us at this moment, if she does tune in, then we'll at some point give her a moment. But I also would like to recognize at this time an individual who has been front and center in promoting the needs of manufacturers in this state. And the Commerce Committee over the past years has advanced some very significant legislation promoting manufacturing, recognizing manufacturers' needs. We intend to continue to roll up our sleeves, but one person who has been central on that and specifically central to the work that we are about to embark on is Eric Brown. Eric, you got 30 seconds.
That's very generous. Thank you very much, Senator. I just want to emphasize, this is an outgrowth, as some of you may know, of the work of the Connecticut Manufacturers Collaborative, which put together a roadmap in 2018 for new governor. A lot of focus so far has been on workforce, but one of the big foundational elements of that plan was technology. So that's what this is about. And I want to emphasize to the manufacturers here, this is your group. This is your work group. It was constructed under the statute to be at least 50% manufacturing, which it is. And a third of that is small and mid-sized manufacturer. So you are integral. This is your group to help design a system that will help not only your company, but companies like yours throughout the state to have an accessible, understandable, and sensible ecosystem for technology that you can take advantage of, and your other manufacturing brothers and sisters can as well. So thank you all for participating, and I look forward to all your good work.
Thanks, Eric. And yes, we are joined by my co-chair, Representative Simmons. Representative Simmons, you have the floor.
Chair, great to see you all virtually, and want to thank you all so much for your time and participation in this Industry 4.0 Manufacturing Technology Working Group. We're really delighted to have such robust expertise and diverse membership of this working group on this call. And we know it's summer and that you all have full-time day jobs, so appreciate you lending your time and expertise to help. I think us as government officials up in Hartford are, not always evolving as quickly as technology evolving in this field. And so we really appreciate you lending your expertise to us and helping us think, as leaders of the country, on how we can better support and nurture this industry, making sure we're getting you the resources you need, the tools and technology you need, and supporting the workforce pipeline in this critical industry, which is so vital to Connecticut's economy. So thanks for all you do, and looking forward to the discussion and to participating in this group with all of you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Rep. Simmons. And I just need to do a hats off, shout out to our staff through the session and today and going forward are just exemplary. And that is the Commerce Committee Clerk, Ginger Rodriguez, and Carly Santana, who is the gatekeeper over on my office. So a big thanks to them. And so without further ado, I will turn it over to the co-conveners, the chair persons right now. That is Ron Angelo of CCAT and Beatrice Guitas, who is the CEO of Concept. Thank you both for your willingness to head this up. We know we're in good hands.
Thank you, Senator. I'm just going to start off, but you will hear from my colleague, Beatrice Gutierrez, the President and CEO of Concept. Again, start by saying, first of all, Ginger or Corliss, I think what we want to do is get the PowerPoint up so we can start going through this. But as we do this, I do want to thank all of you. When you see the names in the list, and it doesn't resonate too well until you kind of see everybody on the screen right now. And we're all doing a lot of different things. We're members and participants in a lot of different groups. So your participation is so important to us. And I do want to obviously recognize Commissioner Gwendolyn Thames from the Department of Economic and Community Development. And we also have Jessica Dodge from CT Next. You will be hearing a little bit later from our providers. But as you've heard from the folks previously, this is about the manufacturers. You guys, we're here to listen and get tremendous amount of feedback about all of these programs, all these services. And we're going to be going through this as we go through the presentation today. And this is kind of just an organizational type meeting to kick off. But again, I want to thank you. I want to get into the presentation, but right now I just want to kick it off or kick it over to Beatrice for a moment, and she could say a few things. And if we could just advance the slide to the agenda so everybody can see, where we're going to be going on this. And it will be a fairly tight agenda, and you can see in the next section we are going to want to be hearing from all of you individually. But Beatrice, I'll kick it over to you.
So thank you, Ron, and thank you to the committee for moving up on this effort. We are delighted, we Comstead are delighted to be part of it. I'm personally very excited to hopefully be part of what it promises to be a great opportunity for Connecticut manufacturers, particularly for the small and medium ones that we represent. So Industry 4.0 obviously is not the future, it's the present. It is here in different ways. It is all about connectivity, all about data, and all about giving us tools to really become productive in the environment. And we at Comstead are really, really excited about this work group because it allows us to bring some of our expertise on lean and process improvement into the conversation. And hopefully with all your help, we will be able to facilitate what promised to be a great roadmap for the rest of the industry. So first of all, I want to acknowledge that you're putting your time on this, both the manufacturers. We know it's a tough time to convene you in this kind of topic, particularly because we're all dealing with a pandemic and we're dealing with supply chain issues, etc. But there's never a good time to not look at the future. And we really thank you for putting your time. I definitely want also to thank my co-chair, CCAT, Ron Angelo. We are looking at this as a wonderful partnership to hopefully set up the roadmap for both our organizations as service providers to the industry and to also refine our toolkits so we can make sure that we are up there offering what you need on behalf of the industry. And that's why we need your expertise. And then lastly but not last, thank you to all our other partners, UConn, CCSU, anyone else that is coming into play to really help us at Yale to support this effort. You bring the research, you bring the knowledge base and the rigor to really help us build a model that is going to sustain and guide us moving forward. So thank you. And I'm looking forward to this year.
Beatrice, that's a great segue. We'll get into the next slide now. And I'd also want to recognize on this line, it's not just a commitment by Beatrice and I. Beatrice on her team has Jeff Warzik, a senior member of the Concept team. And from CCAT, we have Dr. Jacqueline Garofano. She's CCAT's Chief Technology Officer. So we're leaning into this. We're looking at this as a great opportunity to be looking at our programs, not just now, but as Beatrice said, going forward. And as you see up on the screen now, we have what we call the i4.0 providers. And again, a very important list. And of course, the manufacturers and everyone on this list has been selected because of the different types of conversations or interactions we've had over the years. You're in different places, certainly from a manufacturing standpoint, about your Industry 4.0 journey and understanding where you're going, how you've gotten there, and how the state's programs and resources have benefited you or not hit the mark in some way. So as you can see on here, we have a really, really distinguished group and look forward to engaging all of you. And actually, this group might grow a bit going forward, and you may see some additions in subgroups as you go along, but generally this is who we've got at this time. So if you go to the next slide, Beatrice, do you want to? Sure.
So we are gonna hear from you in a minute, but just to give you some sense of how we're structuring the work and how we're gonna work through this, our delivery is to create a roadmap or a playbook for Industry 4.0 for small and medium manufacturers. We have a very tight schedule because obviously this is not a full-time job. We're all trying to come into it with a lot of energy, but around our skills. So we're kicking off today. We do have a milestone, which is a report due on March 15. And then our final strategic plan shall be complete by October 1st, according to the legislation. And that's what is going to be so important, that we really focus as a group, that we scope this correctly. Part of what we are committed from a Comstead standpoint is to bring our lean and process improvement methodologies in play. And thank you for acknowledging Jeff, but we will bring other resources to help guide the conversation and get us to that point. But it's an aggressive schedule, and we're looking forward to working together. We do have this team, but as Ron mentioned, we also are planning to separate into sub-teams so we can get this accomplished. So I think with that, it will be according to the agenda, it will be a good time for us to wait a little bit to talk about the final goals and maybe hear from you. So we will have the manufacturers in the call to come in and maybe go around, introduce yourself, introduce your companies, and give us maybe a little brief taste or where you are on this I4.0 road or journey. So if we can go around, maybe, anyone?
Yeah, I thought if we went back to the last slide, because we did jump ahead, thank you for that. If we go off that last slide and look at the manufacturers, it might be easier for us to facilitate that a bit.
Correct.
So everybody's not jumping on at different times. But if you look right at the top, MDI, if someone from MDI is on, if you could just introduce yourself and your company.
Sure thing. My name is Calla Fankannel. We are at MDI. We are a wiper manufacturer, so we manufacture critical cleaning products. So we've been very, very busy during the COVID times. We manufactured dry wipes and have expanded into wet wipes as well for disinfecting. We currently run an Epicor ERP, and we have high-speed converting equipment. So we are very excited about any new resources that can be leveraged to improve our processes here.
Thank you. Nice to have you, Calla. Thank you. How about Webco Plastics?
Hello, Ron. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Charles Daniels. I'm the CFO at Webco Plastics in Middlefield, Connecticut. We're a mold builder and a plastic injection molder. I'm also the chair of AMET. So I'm excited to see this group. I know that there's a lot of other things going on in the state that are centered around this. So hopefully we'll all be able to bring in some of that outside knowledge of things that are going on already, so we don't duplicate efforts. But I think this is a tremendous opportunity for all of us and something that is drastically needed in the state. So I'm really happy to be here and look forward to working with everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles. Schwartle?
Hi, it's Kathy Saint, and our company, I thought that was interesting for MDI, what you're running as far as your ERP, and that does hook into all of this. We run Microsoft Nav, and we have MarTech stack that we use for marketing that has some AI. We're very networked in our factory, and we make custom gripper fingers for automation for robotic end-of-arm tooling. So we're connected to this conversation in a few different ways. I'm very interested in having something robust come out of this, especially around mechatronics apprenticeships.
Excellent. Thank you, Kathy. Microboard?
Sure. Nicole Russo. I'm CEO president of Microboard. We're here in Seymour, Connecticut. We are a contract manufacturer of electronic manufacturing assemblies. We make night vision goggles, defibrillators, industrial handheld products. We are highly integrated on the software side for our 38-year history as a first mover, actually, in our manufacturing execution system tied to our ERP. Full traceability of all of our products, customer portals. However, we are greatly in need of enhancing that with robotics tied into it for cost competitive needs. So we're really looking forward to the opportunity of looking at how we can further tie our 36 software platforms into things that are more efficient and more robotic going forward.
Thank you, Nicole. Horst Engineering? Okay, Habco, Brian?
Yeah, this is Brian Montanari. I'm president and CEO of Habco in Glastonbury. We're in the aerospace industry where we do ground support equipment and tooling on both the fixed wing and rotary wing side of the non-sexy part of the aerospace industry. It's all the aftermarket, so none of our product flies. We've engaged in a couple projects on the i4.0 recently with CCAT and SphereGen and some of the in the NERDIC program, and that's using some augmented reality to help improve our processes. And I'm very excited about the opportunity with that and what it looks like it can do for us in the tremendous cycle time reduction we're looking at. Some major projects, and we also have another project going on for semi-automated, automated welding that's just at its infancy. So there's a lot of opportunity for us to, to apply the technology to, part of the aerospace industry that's been kind of behind the curve for sure on the manufacturing side. And some of the concerns that I have that I'm interested as well with this group is, especially making sure that as we implement the technology and as we move forward with the roadmap, making sure it's still compliant with CMMC and ITAR and all the other things that go along with it, because that's a big part for us, that we got to make sure that the technology is secure for our products and for our customers. We're excited to be part of this group.
Great, Brian. Thank you. Good comments. Bead industry. Okay, Jason, okay industry. Oh, Jason.
Yep. Hold on. Sorry. Sorry, guys. I'm on vacation and in beach attire, so sorry about that. OK Industries, we're a contract manufacturer servicing primarily the medical device market. We have locations in New Britain and Berlin, as well as in Costa Rica. We are on our journey for 4.0. We have numerous robots, some with some augmented reality and actually tied into sensors and vision systems, and also SPC. Our ERP system is in the cloud. Lots and lots of robots. Some of the stuff that we're really excited about is around machine learning, augmented reality, and the virtual reality stuff, in terms of really having that kind of take over some of the more data integration with systems that we already have. So that's what we're looking to get out of it.
Great. Thank you, Jason. Mike, PTA.
Hi, I'm Mike Roshla. I'm Executive Vice President with PTA Plastics. We're located in Oxford, Connecticut, with another manufacturing facility in Longmont, Colorado. We're a plastic injection molder, mold builder, and contract manufacturer to the extent of mechanical assembly and value add. We began 2 years ago a journey that's called PTA 2030, Envision Our Future. So we began grasping this process, by the throat 2 years ago. We have broad deployment of robots in our facility, traditional Cartesian robots. We've moved into 6-axis robots and cobots working collaboratively. We're using 3D scanning inspection technologies as part of that. We deployed our first system of projected reality, augmented reality, with workforce constraints. That provided a mechanism where I can take relatively inexperienced people and guide them through the mechanical assembly process. So that has the potential in this tight and challenging labor market to be a game changer. We're using augmented reality to support with our machine suppliers, maintenance type applications. So we're using HoloLens there. Our projected reality is a system called Light Guide Systems, where we walk people through the assembly process. We're in the early stages of our journey with additive manufacturing. And in each of these, we took early on an approach that said, okay, these technologies are going to happen with or without us. Do we embrace them? Do we defend against them? Do we assimilate them? And there's different decisions along the line. We've installed fully Industry 4.0 2 molding cells and begun the process of data collection. And then we're looking to evaluate what's going to be the right tools to parse that data and turn it into actionable items. Creating digital twin, where again, that can impact productivity, can impact maintenance predictively. There's so much on the table, and I've got a subgroup that's looking at Industry 5.0 and understanding that's impact, because if you go to Europe, they're moving into that rapidly. So I looked at the timeline and heard that it's aggressive, and wonder if it's aggressive enough when we consider where we are, where we need to be, and what's coming down the line. So this is awesome.
Mike, thank you, boy. You guys got a lot going on there, so we're going to hear obviously a lot more from you in this committee. Arthur Russell.
Hello, I'm Mark Brzezinski. I'm the retiring president of AGR. We're a 75-year-old manufacturer of custom automated assembly equipment, primarily targeting the high volume medical device market. So we've been flooded by COVID work. We've got about a 2-year backlog of equipment. So we provide highly integrated, high-tech assembly solutions. We've begun integrating i4.0 technologies into our equipment, providing data out of smart sensors and providing operational servers with our equipment to start to gather the data to be able to pass that on to the customer's ERP and IT systems for analysis, big data analysis. We are looking to leverage augmented reality to help with our workforce issues, with road service, and our experienced mechatronics technicians are getting older, and being able to leverage their skills with a younger workforce out on the road servicing our equipment is something that we want to embrace and take advantage of. So that's something that I'm looking to learn from working on this committee, as well as providing insights from the highly automated advanced manufacturing world.
Mark, thank you. A lot more to hear on that end too, so appreciate that. Paul, Carey Manufacturing. Paul.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Paul Lavoie. I'm the general manager of Carey Manufacturing. We are a catalog manufacturer of catches, latches, and handles. So latch on to us, we can handle it. Located right here in Cromwell, Connecticut. We are an interesting company, certainly not as exciting as everybody that's come before. We make metal parts, and we have a foot in all 4 industrial revolutions. So it's an interesting in a 30,000 square foot shop to see people manually bending handles, and then to see high-end trump equipment that we're using to make our metal parts. In addition to that, I'm also the board chair of the Central Connecticut Chambers of Commerce. So I see them on here as a provider. So we have certainly in the Chamber of Commerce a strong manufacturing presence as well. So excited to participate, and I think bring a perspective of a smaller catalog manufacturer that makes some pretty simple parts that are used in some applications, such as our range is we make latches that go on first aid kits to the handle that goes on the black box in a Boeing airplane. So I'll give you a wide spectrum of kind of the parts that we're making here at Carey. So great to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, Paul, thank you. I think that's what we see in most of our supply chain. We're going to try to figure out how do we keep moving forward with digital transformation when we've got a lot of legacy equipment, majority legacy equipment. Some of it goes back to the previous industrial revolution. So good point made there. Oxford Performance Materials, OPM.
Hi, thank you for inviting me to be here today. So my name is Scott Ifley, CEO of Oxford Performance Materials. We're a high performance thermoplastic materials company, and also an additive manufacturing company, mostly in the area of orthopedics.
I'm on a Zoom. Is there?
Kathy, can you
call you back on?
There you go. Sorry, Scott.
No worries. So we're adopting a number of 4.0 initiatives, and I think folks talked a lot about them. But there's 2 things that are front and center for us, and they're going to be broadband access and quality electricity. I mean, I think the tools, lots of folks are going to talk about lots of tools and that they're going to be using, and they're, become more available and cheaper, and our workforce is getting better at adopting them. But all of that gets held back by broadband and quality electricity. So those will be the things that I'll be focused on. Thank you.
Yeah, broadband is going to be an interesting angle to talk about, Scott. So thank you for bringing that up. Collins, Aerospace.
Yep, my name is Jenna Sanfanti. I'm representing Collins Aerospace here in Windsor Locks. We have about 4,000 employees that are in this campus, although I'm sure that will shift as we come out of this environment. I am the Director of Operations Excellence for our Power and Controls business. So within the campus here, we have multiple businesses that reside within this campus. So Power and Controls would be the largest, but we do have other businesses that are all here on campus. We're a sister company of Pratt & Whitney and belong to RTX as an overarching company. And I think all roads in terms of manufacturing industry 4.0, there's a lot that comes together that I see in my role here. So as everyone's talking, there's a lot that certainly resonates. And most of, I'll say my goal and perception within my current role is really to drive a lot of these into sustainable manufacturing processes. But then also with this, community here, our supply base within Connecticut is clearly very important to us. And so that connectivity with our supply base along the value stream will certainly be advantageous to hear about and understand how we can help.
Jenna, thank you. As you can see, folks, we've got some of the larger companies there, and understanding what you're doing and leading in many areas and then how it affects the supply chain is going to be critical going forward. So thank you very much, Jenna. Stanley Black & Decker.
Thanks, Ron. Marty Gray, Stanley Black & Decker. Want to thank Ron and Beatrice for taking the lead, and really Senators Hartley and Martin, Representative Simmons. I know there's another representative, I think Buckley, but what you're doing here is really important for all of us. We're humbled to be a participant in this group. At Stanley Black & Decker, we're taking an enterprise approach to Industry 4.0 and scaling across the world. We've been making things in Connecticut for 178 years, and we think this strategy around Industry 4.0 is as important as any other that we've been through. We've hired a significant amount of people over the last 4 years in every phase of 4.0, and we are actively converting operations in every phase of Industry 4.0. We are available to help support anyone and everyone on this call in your journey, and we're looking forward to learning from you. So thanks for the opportunity.
Marty, thank you. You guys have really been leading the way in a lot of areas, and we know you're going to have a lot to bring to the table on this. So thank you for participating. Medtronic. Matt?
Yeah. Hey, Ron. Thank you, and good afternoon, everybody. I am Matt Cohen, Vice President of Research and Development for Medtronic in North Haven, and just noticing, boy, what a great diverse cross-section of industry within the state here. This feels like and seems like a really powerful initiative, and happy to be part of it. But a little bit on Medtronic. Medtronic is a huge medical device manufacturer, 90,000 employees, $30 billion organization. The North Haven aspect of Medtronic, we do minimally invasive surgical products. Medtronic primarily focuses on cardiovascular, surgical instrumentation, diabetes devices. And in North Haven, we have a pretty long legacy and history of minimally invasive types of surgery, starting with U.S. Surgical back in the 60s, evolving to Tyco Healthcare, then Covidian, and now Medtronic. So organization recently put the Medtronic banner over it, but we've been around as an organization for many, many years. We have about a 1.6 thousand square foot campus in North Haven, Connecticut. Have a great cross-section and diversity of different technologies and scientific domains there. So it's a large facility that is kind of unknown within the state of Connecticut. Not a lot of people know that Medtronic is down there. So again, happy to represent from that perspective. For us, Industry 4.0 and the elements involved in that, we've been embracing automation in certain aspects of Industry 4.0 for a very long time. And I think we have a great foundation or framework, but still trying to figure out how to use it ourselves and how to enable that across our supply base. So involvement here, I'm real interested in better understanding what the opportunity is for us as Medtronic, but also how do we support our partners in our supply chain within the state of Connecticut. So looking forward to the discussion and the engagement.
Matt, thank you. Yeah, it's not just about the Industry 4.0 technologies, it's what do they mean? And they mean something different to every company. So it's going to be important to have that part of the discussion. Beatrice, would you like to go in and now we'll introduce the providers, or were there any manufacturers actually that previously Horst or Bede that, I don't know if anybody jumped out. I just want to make sure we don't overlook you, but I don't see anyone. So B, we can go to the providers.
So, so I have the opportunity to introduce what we call our i4.0 providers. And that's kind of a loose term because it makes us basically your support system. So this committee is about you, the manufacturers, and we brought up some of the stronger partners in the industry that can bring some resources to bear to our small and medium companies in the industry. As you see, when we talk about them, some are academic, commerce, funding, etc. As we move through this process, we may need to also bring some others that we could identify together. But with that, my honor to introduce my co-chair partner, CCAT.
Sorry, B, I thought we went through. Well, the Connecticut Center for Advanced Technology, I'm going to just go real quick and say hi. I'm Ron Angelo, one of the co-chairs along with Beatrice. We are in our 18th year as an applied technology center with 3 facilities. Many of you on the line have had some level of experience with us. I want to hear more from the other partners, but we will be engaging not just me, but other members of the team as we go through this, so you are fully aware of us as simply one of the providers on the list. So.
Thank you, Ron. And from our perspective, one thing that we feel is very useful to this particular work is, as many of you may know or not, we are Connecticut's MEP. So we are part of NIST, National Institute of Standards and Technology, MEP program, Manufacturing Station program. It is a federal program that designates 1 center per state. We are yours, Connecticut, and that allows us, we are known by lean, for example, but that also allows us to connect with federal resources in the area of research, both at the manufacturing institutes, at the NIST, and then to work together with learnings from other centers across the state. So that's the piece that we feel is going to be useful for us to help you here. So with that, UConn, University of Connecticut.
Hi, Beatrice. Hi, Ron. Very happy to be here representing the University of Connecticut, specifically the School of Engineering and the Tech Park Initiative. My name is Pamiral Pai. I'm an associate dean at the School of Engineering, and I'm the director of UConn's Tech Park. Please know that we fully support this very exciting initiative. A couple of things about recent developments at UConn that directly align with Industry 4.0. In addition to cutting-edge research on additive manufacturing, artificial intelligence, robotics, systems engineering, and materials, we have invested heavily in several programs within the School of Engineering. We have just rolled out a robotics major that will start in the fall. We have a very successful manufacturing and management undergraduate program, and building on the successes of these 2 initiatives, we're looking into building an Industry 4.0 focused undergraduate degree program within the School of Engineering. So very excited to be here and very excited to support this wonderful initiative. Thank you.
Thank you, Pamir. So now we have CSCU, Connecticut State Colleges and Universities. I'm not sure if there's anyone directly from there.
I might be representing CSCU. This is Karenina Birch. I actually direct a College of Technology, which is a pathway program that connects all 12 of our community colleges with 10 universities, public and private. And the pathways are stackable credentials. So we look at all levels with a major focus on manufacturing. I should also mention that as of May, we were awarded the only National Science Foundation National Center that's focused on next generation manufacturing. And I am super excited about being part of this group because Industry 4.0 was a major umbrella for that particular proposal. So we're looking at all of the topics, that have been mentioned: virtual reality, automation, robotics, but also areas like cybersecurity, integrating that IT area, which I think is quite significant when we look at Industry 4.0. So also hope to bring to the table, the partnership included actually MEPs from other states, as well as we're working with the Manufacturing USA Institutes. So we're hoping that they can also provide some information that we might be able to capitalize on and use in Connecticut. So happy to be part of this group.
Thank you, Karen. Now we have CCSU, Connecticut Central State University, President Toro.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be part of this distinguished group of individuals. Let me say I am the president of Central Connecticut State University, but it's important for you to know my background is manufacturing. I am an industrial engineer, industrial system engineer by training, but my PhD is in the design of manufacturing systems, robotics, automation, and those sort of things, even though I have not been in the classroom for the last 6 years. Central, it's within our system, the only institution offering engineering programs, but it's important to mention that we have a full robotics and another one mechatronics undergraduate degrees. In addition to that, we offer electrical and mechanical engineering, and we have also manufacturing engineering, manufacturing technology. We are in the process of implementing a new lab in the area of virtual and augmented reality. Will be a very unique facility to support the needs of the small and medium manufacturing companies in the state. And I bet that if I survey most of the companies that are represented with us this afternoon, you have at least a graduate from Central. We have been around since 1849. We are the first public university in the state of Connecticut. So we are here to support and help the manufacturing industry move forward. After all, it's one of only few industries that create value. Thank you.
Thank you, President Toro. The Connecticut Conference of Independent Colleges, CCIC.
Thank you. My name is Hisham Al-Najjar. I'm the Dean of the College of Engineering, Technology, and Architecture. Thank you for the invitation and for including the CCIC. As you know, the CCIC, I think for the last few years, we went through a major revision of our curriculums. And we created technologies and we created programs such as robotics and labs such as augmented realities, Internet of Things, automations. I think this is like what we believe the main way for our engineering technology programs to support the state. For as we are talking, AGR is talking, our new automation lab, if you hear noise because of the new renovation we have, is designed by AGR. We are working with local company to redesign our labs. Being independent colleges, New Haven, Bridgeport, Hartford, and others, I think we are easy. It's very easy for us to adapt and change quickly. And we are implementing those changes. We just built new labs and we are introducing them into our curriculum. As we speak, we have 45 students, 45 engineers, I must say, worldwide, mostly from Connecticut, being trained on manufacturing, being trained on the latest technology in manufacturing technology. Those are from Pratt & Whitney right now, but we are expanding that to other companies and other entities. So we believe we have an interest in being strong providers to the manufacturing community in Connecticut, and we would love to continue this relationship and see how we can support you and how we can change what we do as fast as possible to support your vision in Industry 4.0. You will see some certificate coming in Industry 4.0 from some of our members. So I look forward to working with you, and good to see many of faces I know. So thank you.
Thank you, Hisham. And Yale University.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Sarah Miller. I'm an assistant dean for science and engineering at Yale. Thanks very much for the opportunity to be part of this working group. I'm delighted to be here and look forward to learning with and from you all.
Thank you, Sarah. And next, as it was mentioned before, an organization that is at the center of a lot of these initiatives, the Connecticut Manufacturers Collaborative. Maybe Eric, you can speak a little bit about that. Eric, are you still there?
I am, yes. I believe Christine Patima
Yeah,
is.
I'm not sure. I think Chris is not, but maybe he is.
I'm sure he's on.
Yeah, he's Chris Patima with CBIA is the chair, but I think he's traveling right now. So.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Eric. Yes.
Oh, well, I can't really speak for Chris, but again, that's where this initiative started. And as I look at the visual on the board, it's interesting, you know, you've got this line, very thin line between the providers and the manufacturers. And I think that's what we're trying to do. You know, I know when I was at CBI, many of the providers on this list talked to the manufacturers about, you know, how can we be more available to you? How can we service your needs? What are your needs, et cetera, et cetera. And so that's kind of what this is all about. So maybe Chris can speak when he joins the next meeting, but I'll just stop there.
Thank you, Eric. Central Connecticut Chamber of Commerce.
Hello, everyone. I'm Cynthia Bombard. I'm the president and CEO of the Central Connecticut Chambers of Commerce. And the nice part about our chamber is we work with two manufacturing associations, which I'm sure you're familiar with. NESMA, which is the New England Spring and Metal Stamping Association. That association alone has close to 100 members. And CTMA is the Connecticut Tooling and Machining Association. And they also have around 70 to 80 different business members. Those associations are managed through our Central Connecticut Chambers of Commerce. And so I was delighted when Senator Henry Martin asked me to participate, because I am the voice of not just the chamber, I'm the voice of those two associations as well. And we do sit on the CMC collaborative, a group that's meeting with CBIA. The other hats that I do wear here, I am the new president of CASE, which is the Connecticut chapter of Chamber Executives. Manufacturing is the lifeblood of many of our chambers. So what I am learning here today, I will bring back to the CASE membership, each of those chamber executives, then they can bring that back into their manufacturing world. That is run under the umbrella of CBIA. So there is a close connection with the chamber, CBIA, and the collaboration. And I'm also the president of the Tungus Community College Foundation. And I've worked with many of you on there to pull people together to sit around the table to talk about the Tungus Community College Advanced Manufacturing Program that is going to be opening soon in the Farmington region. And the biggest thing that we hear from all of our manufacturers, from a 5-man shop to a larger shop, is the lack of the labor workforce. So that's what basically brings me to the table here. And the last thing I'll say is we've created technical advisory councils in a lot of our communities in which we service, where we match the educators from the tech schools, the public schools, to community colleges, to the universities, to our manufacturers, and listening to see what's needed regarding curriculum, or just getting the basic manufacturing skills up and running so they can get some new hires. So thank you for being here.
Thank you, Cynthia. City Next, Glenn Thames.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good to see you, Senator Hartley and Representative Simmons, as well as dear friends and colleagues, Beatrice and Ron, and everyone here. Glendolyn Thames, Deputy Commissioner at the Department of Economic and Community Development, but also in that role, I have a dual hat as Executive Director of CT Next, which is a quasi-state agency focused more broadly on fostering our entrepreneurship and innovation economy. And we do that in a variety of ways, by direct funding, non-dilutive capital grants to innovators to prove out concepts and to bring ideas to the market, as well as the second part of that is really building the community infrastructures and the conditions that enable innovation to occur. Jessica Dodge, who is our Director of Operations and Program Development, is on as well. And she oversees our SBIR program, which is really focused on the billions of dollars that is available at the federal level for small and medium-sized businesses to access for that early R&D. Research dollars to essentially take new innovations and incorporate that into their businesses at an enterprise scale, if you will. And so we have a full breadth of resources available to make those connections, again, to enable those conditions for our small and medium-sized businesses to be able to innovate, right? As we think about Industry 4.0. In my primary hat as Deputy Commissioner, we are the lead agency responsible for sustaining Connecticut's competitive edge, but as well as growing and creating new economic value. And through that, we have a host of resources and tools from a policy perspective, as well as a capital perspective. And one of those kind of central points is our Manufacturing Innovation Fund. Colin Cooper, who is our Chief Innovation Officer for the state, and is housed at our department. He was on, but I think he had another event, so he had to jump off, but he will be actively engaged in this group on our behalf. But the MIF has been around for about 8 years now. I'm sure many of you are familiar. And that was really a fund intentionally set up to, again, continue to have the foresight to bring on new policy decisions, but also to have funding available for our small and medium manufacturers to innovate and to, again, keep their competitive edge, if you will. So I will stop there and look forward to the dialogue and continuous engagement as we continue to tackle this first world new economy problem.
Thank you. And SBA? Is there anyone?
Good morning.
Oh, yes.
Good morning. This is Catherine Marks, District Director with the Connecticut SBA. Thank you very much for including us. We are mission driven each and every day to help our small businesses here in Connecticut to start, grow, and recover and expand. We have had a tremendous year. We've dealt with many of you and many of the partners on, and we appreciate the opportunity to continue to be a resource and to help bring the federal funds to Connecticut, in particular to help our manufacturing. Thank you very much.
No, thank you. And obviously we wouldn't have been here without the support of our legislators. And as mentioned, as Glenn touched, also our executive branch. So thank you all for that. With that, let's get into the core of what the work we're gonna be doing. So as I mentioned before, we have a guideline. Ginger, could you move to the next page, please? So we have a very tight line. I already spoke about that. And our first stop is in March 15, where we will submit a report with a final delivery date of October 1st, which our strategic plan shall be complete. So let's get into the next piece, which is what is it that we need to deliver? So you have received a copy of the legislation. I think you all did. And that has two main parts. And I'm gonna let Ron speak to the first one. So section 1C1.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Beatrice. You know, as you've heard multiple times, starting with Senator Hartley, this is really about the manufacturers. We need to be hearing from you. You guys have to drive this whole thing. So we want to make it very clear kind of what we need in the deliverables, looking at the legislation, but compiling comprehensive profiles, mission statements, all these things from the entity. So this is about the compilation of what all these entities receiving state and federal funding. That includes CCAT, that includes CONSTEP, all of our programs that are out there, and what we're doing to deploy these resources for Industry 4.0 technologies, all the different services. So we have many of them. Sometimes it gets confusing. We've heard a lot about alphabet soups and things like that. So that's the part of the journey that we're on right now. And then as we get into this further, it's really, again, going to be about the manufacturers, how you've accessed it. We're going to go to that next slide, which Beatrice is going to talk about. But the deliverables on this, they are actually quite extensive. And that's why when you see towards the end, as we wrap up this first introductory meeting, we're going to give you guys some ideas about how we want to proceed going forward to make sure that we hit the mark on all the information we need to be gathering. You on the next slide?
Next. So now we get into what is specific about this legislation that we all need to work towards. So as Ron said, it is about manufacturers and how to support manufacturers. And if you are familiar with our ecosystem, like Ron said, it's an alphabet soup. It is quite confusing. Resources are all over the place, and it's not clear sometimes to customers what that each of these services does for them. So this is specific to Industry 4.0, but part of what we're gonna do and we need to deliver is use tools. So use Lean or any other value stream mapping tools to allow us to analyze the services and resources provided to small and medium manufacturers in the ecosystem. So with that, we will work on trying to identify what are the services that are available and what are the different pieces where each of these entities comes in and is able to complement what customers need, or in some cases where is the duplication of services, provide assessments of the impacts that these services have for manufacturers. Identify the gaps, and this is so important, particularly on a newer technology. We're all working really fast or trying to help out, but in that process, we may be forgetting where the true gaps are to allow these small and medium manufacturers to really embrace and be successful in the transition into Industry 4.0 technologies. Then identification of barriers and then recommendations on how to achieve goals described earlier. So this piece, these 4 bullets, so important. Where are the barriers? And that's what we need you to tell us. Where are the barriers? Where are the obstacles for the small and medium companies to really succeed at this new game of Industry 4.0? And then how do we work together in trying to help these companies achieve these goals, get through it, get through the barriers, and then look for identifying and assessing participation levels. Where are we as an ecosystem? What industries have moved forward, maybe more successful yet? Which ones are waiting to embrace it, and why? And provide the legislator with a good roadmap that helps them identify where would they need to deploy resources, financial or focus, to direct a successful transition for our small and medium manufacturers into these technologies. So it is a lot of work. It is exciting work, but it's gonna require us to be focused, to stay the course, and to be thinking about who is the client, and the client is you, the manufacturer. So, help us keep out of the way and help us give you an idea of what is it that is needed to be successful. With that, I'm gonna ask Ginger to play a video that we found to be very useful in understanding what we're talking about. And then we'll work a little bit on setting expectations for the team.
Ginger, have it?
Ginger, are you able to play the video?
Yep, just give me 1 second.
Sure.
Folks, just so you see on the deliverables, these are things that are taken right from the legislation. So, there may be some little nuances to those bullets that you see there in how we want to address these things, but we do have to stay kind of tight on this to make sure that we meet the spirit of the legislation. And there'll be more to come on this, but and that's where you'll see also some additional companies, and we'd certainly welcome your recommendations if there are others that are interested in participating and lending their expertise and time to this as well.
You guys able to see the video now?
Let's just see the presentation, Jim.
The presentation.
And Ginger, if it's an issue, we can make sure we provide the link.
Absolutely.
Given the time, we do want to make sure that we respect your time and stay really tight. So we are actually at 1 o'clock now, and I think we were trying to adhere to that 1 hour. We can send you that link, but it is important for everybody to kind of understand again where at least we're coming from, the chairs, Beatrice and I. And is there a different nuance to it? Is there something else that you guys need to, or you guys are going to enlighten us on, actually I should say, regarding that video. So Ginger, if we could just pop back, yeah, we'll go.
Yep, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ron, do you want to kind of set up this piece?
Yeah, I just have 2 more slides, folks. So really, again, you're going to be hearing from us in the next couple of weeks regarding, but right now from this takeaway today, we want to make sure we immediately kind of hit the ground running on this. So the providers, and certainly if you have any questions regarding this, Beatrice and I will be happy to discuss this with you further. But the profiles, you went over some brief introductions, but we know there's a lot more there. So if there's a profile of the providers out there, what you're actually putting out there, what your different programs are, programs and services that you're delivering, and which ones are broken down based on state and federal funding. So we're going to need that breakout by providers. And again, you'll see CCAT and CONSTEP right there as well. So we'll be putting all of our information right alongside all of yours. So we want to make sure we've got this laid out accordingly. From the manufacturers, this is going to be really the biggest value add, because we need to know from you, and we had some really interesting feedback from each of you about where you are in your kind of evaluation of Industry 4.0. How you've been moving along. Have you accessed programs and services already? Which ones have been helpful? So we need that kind of bit of self-assessment up front. And then what challenges? That's going to be a real driver for going forward, because we need to understand what those barriers or what those gaps are, and how do we make sure that we're streamlining our programs and making sure we have the most efficient delivery of our programs to meet the needs of you, the manufacturers, going forward. So those are the takeaways that we're going to need back from you folks before we convene next time. And you will be seeing some of those communications from Beatrice, I, and our colleagues. So next slide, the final slide.
So when is the next meeting? So because we have such a tight schedule to get all this done, we are gonna start with bi-weekly. So we are meeting again on Wednesday, September 8th, 11 to 12. We realize maybe everybody cannot make every meeting, but we really hope you can and that you try, because we are trying to really get at least the first part of this work really set up and basically creating the means of communication as a group. We are gonna be spending some time in the overview of 4.0. Part of what we wanna do is to really set the ground, a common ground on what do we mean when we say Industry 4.0. I think we all have a general understanding of it, but it's so important that we're all in the same page. And then on that meeting, we are gonna be trying to identify the work streams and form action teams. And part of that is a way to break the work so we can consistently move towards our goal. One thing that both Ron and I want to convey, this is your meeting. CCAT and COMSTED are here as facilitators. We are here to bring tools as needed to make sure that we keep on skill, but this is your meeting. That's why we didn't dare to identify what teams we need to have. We want you to come to the table, have conversations, and then tell us what are gonna be the most important things we need to work in So at the end, this is a product that is not only something we're proud of, but something that other companies can use. So we ask you to be ready to participate and to help us guide at least the core of in content. So, you know, I think that's it. As I said, we had the video, but it didn't, you know, we weren't able to get it. But we will be sending an invite for the next meeting. If we can get your profiles and the answers to those questions, please send them back to Coraline Santana. She is coordinating on behalf of Senator Harley's office and the committee. We will also provide a place for all of us to store documents and start information and share information. And maybe, I don't know if Caroline can provide some general information on that. But outside from that, if you see an email from her or from Ginger Rodriguez, these are the two people that are supporting us, and we thank the senator for facilitating this environment and the tools for collaboration. So with that, I don't know, I thank you personally for participating. We are very excited that you're here, and we look forward to working together this year. Ron?
Yep, no, that's great, Beatrice. Thanks. We are over the time and respecting that. So, but Senator Hartley, do you have any final word that you'd like before we can?
No, thanks to all, and good job, 106.
We're going to stay
One
tight.
quick thing, if anyone thinks of someone we miss that may be useful to the group, either a company or a provider, let us know, and we will include them. Obviously, we want to keep the group small so we can work together, but there may be someone that we totally miss and needs to be part of this. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you very, very much, folks. You'll be hearing from us shortly. Oh, Jeff, did you have something? Oh, no. All right. All good. Thank you, folks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Look forward to working with you.
Say thank you.
I'm on mute. Oh, thank you. Oh, I wasn't on mute.